The cabal has made a science out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles that allow them to get away with what they do. So they have to put out everything that tells you who they are in music video, in these Super Bowl halftime shows, the Grammy Awards ceremony. They're out there showing you the truth.
Oh yeah, DDGotAPodcast.
Once we dig into who David Wilcock was, the things that he studied. And again, for those of you that are not familiar, I'm going to play a couple of clips so that you all could sort of get up to date, be more familiar with the things that he believed, which is pretty consistent and along the lines with many of the things that we've been talking about on this channel for more than 6 years now.
We believe that they are the descendants of gods, that they are the chosen, that they are God's special people, that we are delusional, and that the true creator is this wisdom principle that they think of as Lucifer. That wisdom principle gave us ancient mystery school teachings, and that the enemy, which they call Adonai, the adversary, which we would call the Christian God, came to try to defeat them. Then they even take it a step further and they look at texts like the Bible and they say that where it says in the end times that God will take the money from the wicked and restore it to the just, that we as a planet are the wicked and they are the just. So this is how they justify their financial corruption. They don't believe that we deserve the money. In fact, they believe that if they did not dominate us and if they did not control us and play all these games, that we left to our own devices would destroy our planet. So in some twisted rationale, they believe they are saving the earth. They believe humans are bad for the environment. We cause pollution, so they have to reduce population. Then they seed that into movies like The Matrix, where Agent Smith says that humans are like a virus on the planet. This is one of a variety of ways in which they will usually embed their teachings into the villain. I learned from whistleblowers from the cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. The rules are a body of spiritual principles that they must follow in order to be allowed to exist. Now, what do I mean by allowed to exist? I mean that they are aware that there are benevolent forces that will prevent them from achieving their goals unless we give them permission to enslave us. Ultimately, the universe is intelligent, alive, and conscious, and it is benevolent. It is a benevolent consciousness. That consciousness does not allow the negative to succeed unless it is invited. So the cabal has made a science, a very elaborate science, out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles that allow them to get away with what they do. So they have to put out everything that tells you who they are in music videos, in these Super Bowl halftime shows, the Grammy Awards ceremonies. They're out there showing you the truth. This is what people are going to have so much trouble with once disclosure happens, is that these people actually practice black magic, and they are very, very good at it.
And nobody should be shocked about this, right? Because these are all the things that we've been talking about on this channel for a number of years. When you look at things that are more recent that we've covered on the channel, like Jay-Z. Jay-Z not only just gave an interview where he addressed some of the most heinous accusations against him alongside P. Diddy. He not only decided to address this in the interview when speaking with even though he was interviewed by a child who really wouldn't give him much pushback, which was by design, which was also a Freemasonic interview, as in they was doing the black and white and the duality with the hats and the backgrounds that was changing colors throughout the interview. Literally a part of this interview, Jay-Z literally does a photo shoot where he's doing one-eye symbolism, and he's using this mask that has its historical and ritualistic meaning. That, by the way, was not anything in reference to African or black power. That's not what that mask was about. He's doing the hand symbols, literally telling us, communicating to us in real time, like he's done it throughout his entire career, throughout his music videos and his other interviews, who he is and what he represents.
Let's get into this interview, which I thought was hilarious. Right off bat, they told you exactly who he is. People are trying to break down why he had this Congolese mask and how it meant for the struggle or how it meant for the culture. They don't care about who they are as far as their identity. They're never going to tell you who they truly are or who we truly are. But they know, and they chose a side to be subjugated. He got his hands in the pyramid here, he got his hands in the pyramid here for the photo shoot, his thumbs in the pyramid here for the photo shoot, and of course you see the Eye of Horus or the Eye of Ra, which is the one-eye symbolism that is all connected to Freemasonry or Prince Hall Freemasonry. As you can see here, it's all esoteric knowledge. They go from black and then they go from white in one 35-minute video. The interviews wearing a black hat with a white background, then he wears a white hat and a black background, just like the floor in York Rite, Scottish Rite, and Prince Hall Freemason lodges is the checkerboard flag. So the very first part of the interview, he wanted to jump in and what happened to him as being accused. He didn't really go into it because the interviewer was selected for a particular reason. He wasn't going to give him any hard questions where he couldn't handle it. But all you have to see is what he's been propagating throughout his career. I mean, no one is out here really wearing "Do What Thou Wilt," which is a quote by Aleister Crowley.
When you look at Kanye West's recent music video featuring Travis Scott called Father, right? They're sitting in a church. You got Michael Jackson in the back pew. You have this person carrying the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. You have this extraterrestrial UFO being, a mask that he's putting on. You got the flying saucer outside of the church. All of these things are ritualistic. You say, well, why do they do this? Because they have to tell us who they are in real time. Otherwise, they wouldn't be allowed to do so. When you look at my more recent video a day and a half ago with Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan is one of those people that's convinced so many of us that he could be trusted, right? Because early on, he entertained these ideas of conspiracy theories and he's just like one of us and he's down to earth and nothing is off topic and he's calling people out when he is what they would call limited hangout or controlled opposition. He was playing his role. And when you look at Joe Rogan, surprise, surprise, when you look throughout his career, he's doing the one-eye symbolism just like all these other celebrities. Why are they doing these photo shoots? Why are they doing the same hand signs and one-eye symbolism? Because they have to. Some of them will tell you, well, that's the photographer. They'll tell us to do certain things and we don't know what it means. Stop it. Stop it. All of you all are doing the same things and all of you all are seeing success after you do it. That's not a coincidence. And then when you look at Joe Rogan's career early on, he's even given us reason to believe that he's compromised in other ways. Sexually, as far as sexuality wise. And I'm just going to leave it there because he has some weird things that he's said and done and the way he's behaved, and it even looked like he's worn lipstick in some of his scenes. Is very strange with Joe Rogan. So my ultimate point is we've been talking about this in music videos and in Hollywood and the media for the longest. All of these people are part of the same club. And even though we've heard this for so many years, it's important that we prove it time and time again so that those that still think that this stuff is fake, they can become awake or aware as well.